Oh my God, Colby, do you hear that?
No, Barry. Hear what?
Me tie do tee boo bee bop bee walk. What a shame. I really like that guy too in the book. What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This.
Theme music.
Welcome to the third week of Halloween.
Ooh. Spooky season is here.
And you know, before we talk about everything, let me do the segment first.
Yes.
So, this movie. I said I was going to do this off the dome, but really all I wanted to say is, do you remember, if you grew up in the 90s, do you remember that one book in the corner of every public school library? I don't know why every school had that book, but it was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It was just the dark version of those books that was kind of like Step on a Crack, Break Your Mama's.
Right, yep.
But instead of having this movie be an anthology, we have a very, I guess, toned down version. And so let's talk about 2019's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. That was kind of bad. I just really wanted to be like, it was like in every, that book was in every freaking library.
Right. Yeah, it was like the,
the Seven Chinese
it was like
Brothers.
Goosebumps, but like you had like the book fair, and it didn't have like name brand books, so you had like, oh no, Goosebumps. Well, I guess I'll have Scary Stories to read in the dark.
You know, but to be honest though, like way better than I like respect to R.L. Stine.
So that's kind of just what I'm hearing, because I did not. I'm just a generation too late. Like I didn't read any Goosebumps. I didn't read any yeah. By like this time, I was already like reading like Stephen King books.
When did Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark came out?
90s.
90s?
Yeah.
Oh,
that
okay.
and
So
Goosebumps both kind of came out at about the same time.
Goosebumps was in the 90s too?
Yeah.
It just looked old. I guess like because of the art on the covers, I was like, oh man, that's so old. Oh, but okay, so I was thinking, I was like, is this book series like older than the 90s? But it makes sense.
As far as I know, that's kind of what that's what I remember Goosebumps, and I felt like this was like there was like a number of different series that were like short stories, short scary stories that all kind of came out at the same time.
No, it just came out in 1981.
Oh,
So you were just not in the library.
I
enough.
was just not in the library.
No, I think for me, I remembered it a lot more because in my elementary school, we actually had there was like a period in the day where we would have to spend like an hour in the library.
Okay.
Like we had like a library attendant. He would be like, all right, everybody pick a book. And, this had like a half-deceased lady on the front cover. And I was like, I want that one.
See, and I was like, I think probably by the time this came out, I was already at the age where I was like, oh, we're going to go to the library. I'm going to look at like the fantasy art books because some of them almost have naked girls in them with like a snake.
1981? You were in middle school or
Yeah.
You were in middle school?
No, I would have been elementary school.
Yeah, so
I think I probably just was just like, oh, it's Scary Stories.
No, Colby always picked up one of those books where it's like 100 different types of dogs or dog facts.
It was like elementary school when we did the book fair, so it was like dinosaur books. I remember getting us I hated reading like books. That sounds terrible, but I always remember reading ones where it was like 101 short stories, and it was like the book was only like 200 pages and it had 101 stories in it. I was like, oh, this is perfect. I could sit down and read a story a night.
This was like that too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, like okay, so like okay, I was like before we even talk about the movie, I wanted to say like scary stories to tell in the dark was just a compilation of short stories.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I think a lot of people were kind of, spoiler, disappointed at this movie because it was a cohesive storyline instead of it being a trick or treat type of movie.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because, you know, I mean,
The art in it, like, because looking through like
Oh, yeah.
the stories and stuff like today on online, the art's very distinctive, and
Yeah.
I would have definitely remembered that.
yeah.
And it's even something like the art is even something that I feel like I would have been drawn to as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
So I just don't think I ever
Came across it.
came across it.
Yeah. Colby was too busy looking at origami for dollar bills.
I did
I
have
had
a
that one.
book.
I had that one too. Yeah, I was the same way, but like I was the same way, but I was like getting like stuff that was like creepy to people. They're like I was like getting like spider facts.
Okay.
You know, like learning about different spiders, freaking the origami for dollar bills. But I remember seeing this one, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks creepy," and then I was just like, I pretty much was like a goth kid, but just didn't look like it.
Okay.
Because I like it, like it's a very gothic horror,
Right.
type,
Yeah.
especially the art style that it portrays. Which I was like, so when this movie first got announced that it was going to become a movie, I was like, I don't know if that's going to translate as well. And I think, as much as I kind of like, sometimes I shit on like Japanese, like horror now. Mm-hmm. I think they would have been able to kind of pull it off, like if they had gotten the people that did like Pulse. Very same atmospheric mood. And I think
Okay.
that was cool. I mean, like I was pretty excited about it because this is directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Right. That's what drew me to it.
And that's what draws a lot of people to
Yeah.
it, and he's such a fan, like
So it'll actually be an interesting, because you being familiar with the stories and you're going to be comparing it to the book. Mm-hmm. And I was unaware of it being a book, or even if it was a book, I was not a book I was familiar with.
Yeah.
So it'll be like I just saw it just as straight as a movie.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about the movie. So the movie starts off, I think we're in 1963. I want to
Around the time of the Vietnam War.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because and
And the Nixon election, because that came up on the news.
Oh, yeah.
A number of times as people walked by. It was,
I am not a crook.
yeah.
Yeah, so it starts off during I want to say it's like probably somewhere in a little bit of the Midwest, just because we open up with a shot with, so we have our main character.
It's right cornfields, so
Yeah,
that's got to be
cornfields.
Midwest.
Right? We open up with shots of like Stella, who is our main character. Is that her name?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I'm not confusing it with West Side Story. we got our Scary Stories version of Dustin. I don't even know all these kids' names. Augie. Augie's like the nerdy but a player. He's trying to get with his boy's sister.
Yep.
The sister who's the princess. And then we cut it to a shot of Ramon. I want to say I think he's Mexican.
Yeah.
I think so, right? Oh, because his last name is like Diaz or something like that. Rodriguez?
Yeah. Yes.
Something like that. I'm pretty sure it's the kid from The Sandlot, but and I was like, oh, this is how I know this town is a little racist, because like the cop is like, and this is what my old boss told me, is like the people aren't going to be directly like racist to you, but like they will ask you like, oh, are you lost? Or we also get introduced to like one of the early antagonists of the movie. It's Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy looks like he does a lot of cocaine. It's weird, right? This I'm so not used to this being a chronological story. More, it's an anthology book, so it kind of just throws me off. Where I don't really care about this central storyline. Like, I'm really excited for the stories, but everything else in between, I'm kind of just like I zone it out.
Okay.
Yeah, for some reason, because like I think maybe it's because it's like it's a childhood thing for me. It's like,
Right.
I just want to see these stories, these monsters come to
No,
life.
I can totally understand that.
So it's like the morning of Halloween. Stella, she has a pretty decent home life, but it's just her and her dad. But you can tell there's a little bit of weird, like, atmosphere to that whole situation. Augie is a single child, and his mother is single, but she's dating somebody. And then we have Dustin. I know that's not his name, but that's kind of what his character. He's trying to fish out a turd from the toilet.
Oh, right, yes, he's the prankster.
He's a prankster, and he's gonna make a flaming hot bag of turd to throw at Tommy, who is on a date with his sister, unbeknownst to him.
Right, yeah.
Right, but they're trying to cheer up Stella because she's like, I don't know, she's fucking sad. I thought, like, I was like trying to remember it. I was like, oh, did her mom leave like recently? But she's been gone.
She's been gone. Maybe she left on Halloween or something. So it's a sad time, or maybe just.
Yeah, but so they throw the poop, the fire poop.
Right. No, so they know, they kind of set it up. They know Tommy is a douchebag and is going to steal bags of candy from little kids. So they kind of just play it off, and set it up so that Tommy can steal their bag of candy, but their bag's got poop in it. And then when Tommy gets mad to come back, they egg the hell out of his car.
Yeah, but they do throw a flaming bag of poop at him.
They do. That's the piece de resistance.
But this is how we kind of get the story rolling, because they go to the drive-in theater and they actually run into Ramon. They hide in Ramon's car.
Yep.
Dusty, he kind of says something about him sleeping in his car, but they kind of drop it after he gets a little aggressive about it. But then Tommy comes and he's like, get out of the car. Until the drive-in manager's like, hey man, get out of here, go back to your car.
Right.
And they're like, we'll get you back. Stella, she's still, I don't know, processing with her mother leaving.
Yeah, because they make a snide remark. It was like, you running from us like your mother ran from you.
Wow. Yeah. See, I know.
I was like, oh, Tom, you're a douche.
What? Like, this has to be a small town for everybody to know everybody's business.
Right, yeah.
But Stella kind of like, she regathers herself. And she's like trying to thank Ramon for like helping them out. A little bit of little tension is going on between the two.
Right.
You know, little brown sugar.
Little flirtation.
Yeah, she's like, never seen this brown sugar. She's trying to make horchata, you know what I'm saying? But she's like, hey, do you want to go to a real haunted house?
Yeah.
And so this is where we learned that apparently this small town has a urban, not an urban legend, but like more like a folklore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or something that's like, it's about a witch who was trapped in the basement by her family.
Right.
Until like she drove them all away.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
And then
she
hung herself.
Hung herself in the house.
And that the house is still haunted.
Yeah. I don't understand why. Like I was like.
But that if you go into the house at midnight, you can ask her to tell you a story, and she'll tell you a scary story through the wall of the room that she was supposedly.
Yeah, I'm okay on that.
Trapped.
You know, back in high school, I had a friend that's like, let's go to abandoned houses. It's like, this is why you're gonna die soon. Like, I'm 100% a believer of just minding my own business, not going anywhere. I can get tetanus. Yeah, but they go to this house, because it's 1963 and there's no internet. So they go into this house, they're exploring. Dustin, all of a sudden, he goes upstairs and he sees what I like to call a little time pocket. Right.
So he mostly goes upstairs so that he could hide. So when they come look for him, he can scare them, because he likes doing that to Augie.
Yeah, because Augie is, if you're easy to scare, it's so tempting to do it.
Right. Yeah.
And Augie, this whole entire time, has been fighting with him because he's like, I'm not a clown, I'm a pirouette.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is like a French clown.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he ends up seeing like this time pocket. I forget what Augie's doing, but I know Stella and Ramon, they're like flirting.
Right, and then they find the hidden room downstairs to the
Yeah.
basement.
I don't know why you go down there.
If you found that, you wouldn't go down.
Not in a haunted house.
Yeah, it's true.
If I
not at midnight,
Yeah.
like in the day, maybe.
But like, even if I find it like in a modern house, I'm like, why is this hidden? They're a murderer, or that is a sex dungeon.
Right. Yep.
That is their red room. But all of a sudden, we find out that Tommy finds them somehow and locks them into the
because
basement.
they got a car,
Yeah.
and so Tommy basically just drives by and sees the car out in the front yard.
Yeah,
and it's
see,
like,
this is how you know. I skipped a lot. Not skipped, but I kind of zoned out. I remember like the big parts, but so everyone gathers down in the basement. Tommy finds them, closes the door, locks it. The sister keeps complaining, and he opens it, throws her in,
Yeah.
locks it, and he's like, "Hope you guys find a way out there." And I was like, in any other ordinary situation, like I think these kids are just dead. Like Tommy just leaves them there. He looks like Tommy would just forget.
Yeah. Right, because then he goes home and gets drunk.
Yeah, well, he's already
Oh,
drunk.
he's already drunk, but he
Yeah.
goes home and gets drunker.
Yeah, and then he wakes up. Crazy dream. I trapped some kids in a basement.
Right, you think he might come back because the girl he was on a date with to let her out, and then like,
Right?
yeah,
I know you're giving him a lot of credit.
They flung poo at his car, so you're right. It's he may leave them in there for a week.
Yeah. But as they're trying to escape, some spooky stuff happens because Stella's like she finds her book
Yeah,
of stories, and that's all she's like. She's super transfixed in this because Stella wants to be a author.
right.
And so as she's reading it, everyone's kind of panicking. They're like, "We got to get out of here!" But she's reading it, and she's like, "Tell me a scary story."
Yeah,
And that's like open sesame for ghosts, right?
that's yes. I'd be like, you might as well have just been on a Ouija board.
I'm surprised they didn't have one already. Like, we should try to contact her. But the door opens up, and everyone thinks everything's all hunky dory until they go back to Ramon's car. It's been totally totaled,
Right.
and it
It's
has racist stuff on it.
Yes, wet neck, like spray painted on it, and the
It's not wet neck.
oh,
Well, I don't
Wet-
want to say it. Well,
wetback?
Yeah, that's the racist term for.
did I say redneck?
You said wet neck.
Ow. Mixing things up. Try to keep it clean, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, and then this his window smashed, and then something's in his
Yeah, it's all messed up.
with his motors.
Oh yeah, they I don't know, maybe his timing belt
Yeah.
messed that up. I don't know, but Stella invites Ramon over. He's like, "You just gotta leave before my dad wakes up." Dad's being a dad, falling asleep on the lazy boy in front of the black and white.
Yep.
And but then all of a sudden, like Stella's looking at this book and it starts to write in itself. What was the first story? I think Harold, or like the Scarecrow.
Oh, the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is where we learned that Tommy grows up on a farm. His mom's like yelling at him, like, "Bring eggs to them because they pay us."
Yeah,
And he's
because
like, "All right,
you forgot to bring eggs to the neighbors.
Yeah. But Tommy's like, "Oh, right now." And then so this is where we actually kick off one of the first stories. It's very different from the book, though, as I remember, because I don't think it was like that. Like, a lot of these stories are tailored to the characters in this movie and not really tied to the book. But the characters from this movie are from the book. So we get one of our first kills where Tommy gets haunted pretty much by Harold.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Harold absorbs him or he becomes Harold.
Right, but he definitely becomes the Scarecrow.
Yeah, terrorizing. And it's a pretty wicked like little transformation though, because when he gets stuck in the maze, he climbs out, but as he's climbing out, like all this straw comes out of nowhere,
Out of his mouth, out of his ears.
Not a great way to die.
No.
And then the next day, they find out that Tommy's mom has reported him missing. and Ramon is suspect number one because his car got totaled.
Yeah.
He's like, well, were you Ramon? Huh? I thought you were only gonna be here for a day. I thought you were just passing through. I'm racist. But obviously he's feeling a lot of pressure from the sheriff now, and I don't see it's really hard for me to remember the in betweens because I know the next one is the big toe.
Right. But so that day at school, she's like, hey, Tommy disappeared, and a story that wasn't there last night when we went.
Oh, yeah.
When we were stuck in the basement is now there, and it talks about Tommy disappearing, and they're like,
okay.
Yeah, so she's like, I'm going to take Ramon, and we're going to walk through the cornfield, and we're going to see if we can find the Scarecrow. And they find the Scarecrow, and it's got Tommy's Letterman jacket on.
Oh, what a waste of a Letterman.
Yeah, and then they're like, whoa, these stories are real.
Coming true. And then this is where Stella does freak out, so she ends up running to the house, putting the book back.
Yeah.
Because I'd be fucking freaked out too, right? But then she gets home, Ramon's like, he comes up to the house, or he's already at the house as well, and they go in her room, but then he's reading the book.
And she's like, where did you get that?
On your bed. And then they open it, and all of a sudden, it's writing the new story.
Yeah.
The Big Toe. It sounds like the Big Toe sounds like a guy who just knocks it out of the park. You know what I'm saying? The reason he gets that is because he's like, when you turn the bat, I use my big toe for power. They said that's what boxers do.
I could see that, yeah.
So gross because, so we cut to Augie, right? Because it's about Augie, and he's on the phone with his mom. He's like, you guys could have at least brought some groceries before you left for the weekend. He's like, whatever, I'm just going to eat this stew that's in the fridge. She's like, what stew? And he's like, I don't know, someone made stew.
And I'm hungry, so I'm eating it.
Flag number one, though. And flag number two, he doesn't even heat it up. He just starts eating out of the pot.
Hey, that's a kid. That feels like something I would do. Now, as an adult, I still... Teresa's always like, are you going to heat that up? And I already ate half of it. Now I might as well just finish it cold.
Wait, what are you eating cold?
I don't know, like cold chicken wings or whatever it is. Pork chop. Yeah,
I can't eat cold food. There's only I think a very small handful of items that I can just eat cold. But stew? There has to be a layer of fat that he really just mixed it in there. Because it's a beef stew, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But they call Augie on the headsets, and they're like, Augie, you're in the book, don't do it. And then she starts describing it, and he's like, whoa, that's kind of freaky, but I don't hear a spooky woman calling me about her big toe. Until he puts the big toe. Also, fucking gross, dude. Do people
look at...
Yeah. Exactly.
Look at what you're putting in your mouth.
Look at it.
I guess that's also me though, because if I was like, there's mushrooms in here, I don't like mushrooms, so I'm just gonna not look at it and put whatever this chunk is in my mouth and hope it's a piece of beef. And it was a mushroom that came off of an old lady's foot.
Mushrooms are good.
Yeah, they're gross.
They have the same texture as chicken.
No, we don't.
I think you're having mushrooms wrong. But he puts the big toe in his mouth, and he pushes it out of his lips, and it's like, it's disgusting. And then after he puts the toe in his mouth, that's when the lady's like, where's my toe? And pretty creepy sequence though. This movie does really well as the practical effects because it's Guillermo del Toro.
Right.
The only one that isn't practical is fucking AT&T Walker.
Mr. Jingles.
Yeah.
Or the Jingle Man.
Yeah. Oh, that's what Ramon called it, right?
Yeah.
But then, on the book, was it Toad T Walker, something like that? But that one is mainly it's for actual practical reasons why it's CGI'd because
Right,
the way
'cause
it
it would be-
moves. Right, but no. So Augie ends up getting dragged underneath the bed, and that's pretty horrific. Though I was like, imagery wise, I was like, all right, that's cool because like when you're a kid, the bed is such a weird sanctuary.
Like, because when he first goes to hide under the bed, I'm like, don't hide under the bed. What the hell's wrong with you? And then when he goes to come out from underneath the bed, I'm like, don't go out. Stay under the bed. What the hell is wrong with you?
Exactly. But then like it's cool because then when he gets dragged underneath the bed, it looks so big, but then it pans out of it, and it's so tiny.
It's just a little twin bed.
Yeah. Just a little twin bed, like a little one of those college dorm beds.
Yep.
And they go there and they're like freaking out. So now they go to Dustin, and the girl and the sister, right? Oh no, they don't go to the sister, but as they're trying to research it at the library, I believe. Mm-hmm. Right. Dustin's eating a jelly donut. He gets a little red spot on his stomach. He's like,
A little ketchup or a little jelly. Yeah.
a little jelly. And in the book, now, Dustin hasn't seen it happen until right now because it starts writing itself in the book, the red spot.
Yep.
And Dustin's like, oh my God, why did it have to be jelly donut day at school? But then as it writes his book, it's actually about the sister. I think her name is Peggy.
Right. And that morning she had a big pimple.
Oh, gross.
Red spot on her face, and he was like, oh, you got a red spot on your face, you better pop it. And she's like, I think it was a spider bite from last night.
This is also it's not only from Scary Stories, but this is also one of those urban legends. In the urban legends, it's a girl that used to have those beehive hair, and then it got caught in a web, and then all of a sudden not roaches but spiders would go in it.
Oh, okay,
it's
right.
One of those old school urban legends.
Yep.
But yeah, she's trying to do her performance, but everyone's like, ooh, you gotta take care of that. That thing looks like it makes a noise.
Yeah, because by the time it's the evening and it's performance time, it is headed up.
Yeah, that thing is
giant boil.
Yeah, it's the size of a golf ball.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. But as she's freaking out about it, it's really hard to talk about this, by the way. It's more visual.
Right, especially this one.
Yeah.
This is very.
But this one pops in, all these spiders crawl out of it.
It's she starts squeezing it and it looks like a little hair kind of pops out of it, and then it starts moving and you're like, oh my God, it's a spider leg.
Yeah. There's also it's also in the book too. But but she's I think she's one of the only people that in the middle of the movie that's actually survives their story. Mm-hmm. Right? Because they're able to stop all the spiders from I don't know, devouring her.
Right, yeah.
By throwing some mop water on her. So she ends up in the hospital. The sheriff later does say that she's in a psych ward. But he's just
right, because
being a
if you were in
racist.
the 60s and you're like, spiders just crawled out of the side of my face, they're like,
you're
electroshock
hysterical.
therapy.
And so now they're really trying to find out what's going on, and they're thinking, okay, maybe if we find out what actually happened to Sarah, we can find a way out of this.
Right.
So, but before they go to find out more, the kid Dustin, he's like, well, I have a dream about a red room, and this fat lady would tell me to leave this place. It's scary.
Right.
You think they're gonna use that against me? Yeah. Now that you put it into the air,
because that's when you start to realize that it's the stories are about your worst nightmare kind of thing.
Yeah. Because with Tommy, he's always been freaked out by Harold the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
And so Sarah used that, and then with with what's it called, the Big Toe, I guess. He's afraid of stews. I don't know how that one was a correlation. It could have been with his grandmother or something like that. Spiders. A lot of people, not just women, are afraid of spiders. I've known plenty of dudes that are ooh, spiders.
Right. Yeah.
We know one.
Yeah.
And then I guess Dustin's afraid of fat people. But they end up wanting to go to the psychiatric ward where they find out that Sarah and her family had put her in. And when they find out where her records are, because it's like 50, 80 years old.
Right, yeah.
Right? They're like, well, that's in the red room. And they're like, oh no, the red room.
Right, yeah, Dustin's like, I'm not going to the red room. And they're like, okay, well, you stay and keep watch then.
Yeah, and what did the red room stand for? Like records and something, right? It's just like it was an acronym.
Right.
And so as they're going to check that out, they actually find out what the family had been doing to the town is like they had been poisoning the town with mercury, and Sarah kept blabbing about it. So they covered it up by making Sarah this like scary person and unwell person, and they really pinned it on her. But as that recording is going, she's like, Charlie dreamed of a red room. The guy's like, who the hell is Charlie?
Yeah, yep.
And we find out that, that's his name, Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie ends up, he's been running around the hospital for no reason. He should have just stayed outside.
Well, right, but he, like every time he sees somebody, he tries to move, and then he got locked out. He like tries to go through the door, and it goes into like the roof.
Yeah.
And he gets locked out, and he has to go in through the other building, and then he's kind of like...
He's getting chased by some orderlies, but then all of a sudden he gets caught in the ghost dimension. I want to call it that.
Right, from the girl from his dream.
Yeah, the fat lady, and she just pretty much absorbs him.
Yeah.
Kind of gross. I think that he's gone, right?
He's gone.
Like, this movie really ends on a possible sequel. I don't think this movie did well enough to get a sequel.
Right.
Which is unfortunate.
But it did end in a way where they looked like there could have been one.
Yeah. So now they're really like, like the police have caught, or have caught Stella and Ramon. And they're like, where's your friend? Like, he's dead now. Like, you fucking happy about that? But they end up at the police station. We find out that Ramon is a draft dodger. And the reason why he's been dodging the draft is because 2 weeks ago they sent his brother's body back in ashes. And he's like, I don't want to end up like that,
Right.
Which, I mean, it's fair,
Yeah.
It's fair. I think a lot of people draft dodged back then.
Right, but in a Midwest town, that's like very like pro-America. That's like, it's an honor to be drafted kind of thing.
Yeah. And, but the sheriff is just super nice to Stella. Like, Stella, get out of here. You're going to, like, worry your dad. Like, just go home. Let me deal with this Ramon.
Yeah.
But she's like, no, I'm not going to leave him. She's like, fine, Stella. Maybe a night in jail is going to help you clear your head. But all of a sudden, so, like, they're in jail. The sheriff's looking at the book. All of a sudden, it starts to write Taito T.D. Walker. And Ramon knows it because he knows it. It's an old campfire sword.
Yeah.
But it's like yelling at Ramon, calling him a coward. After he kills the sheriff, he snaps his neck, Steven Seagal style. So they figure, like, let's go back to the house. We can figure it out there. We'll tell Sarah that we'll expose the truth.
Yep.
So they split up. It's a pretty cool chase scene with Ramon and the TIE fighter. And Stella, she's making it to the house. She gets to the house. She gets stuck in a little ghost, little time trap. But now she's Sarah.
Yeah.
And so she might die in the past. I don't know how that would work. And Ramon's there, but he's getting freaking chased by the TIE fighter.
Well, because they're not trying to kill the sister. They're just trying to lock her back up in the basement till they can figure out how to cover up the story, the Mercury story that she keeps blabbing about.
Yeah, well, yeah, because she's blabbing about. So, like, she finally was able to find out the truth. But then Sarah's like, she wrote it in the book, though. The Haunted House.
Yeah.
So that means you're going to have to die like how I died. That way she can keep adding to the karma and the revenge and the wrath. And then her curse will only grow more powerful. Now there's two of them. But she's, like, able to convince the ghost, like, I'll tell your story. Like, please stop. Don't do this. Right before Ramon's going to get crushed by the TIE fighter. The movie ends up, like, it's a pretty, like, PG ending. The ghost, I don't know if she disappears or, like, she just is calm for a minute, but day comes. Ramon ends up still going to Vietnam, and he's like telling Stella like, "Hey, are you gonna write me?" She's like, "Every day." And then like one day, like she'll just get the letters back because he probably died.
Oh, you just make that sad.
Super grim. But it actually ends up with Stella in the car with Peggy, and they're like, we have to find out where like Augie and Charlie went, because they didn't exactly die. Like Charlie got dragged off into the dark,
Right.
and so I presume Stella's trying to find a way that she can get them back with Peggy now,
Right.
with like this badass scar on her cheek. I mean, it's not
And her
winning.
dad. Her dad's driving.
Oh yeah, and her dad's driving,
and he's down with it.
yeah,
So.
you know, and movie ends. This movie's kind of hard to do like that. I just like there's a lot in this movie, more than I remembered. But let's go to our review section right now before we just go ahead and just talk about the movie outright. Colby, where are you at with the high star?
So we got 10 out of 10. There's so much scary stories to tell in the dark. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is one of the creepiest, scariest, and terrifying movies of the summer that's based on a children's scary novel by Alvin Schwartz, and the originally illustrated by Stephen Grammel. This summer by Guillermo del Toro will make you scream more scary stories, where the stories write themselves and all come alive on the big screen.
Man, you butchered that like a substitute teacher.
Totally did.
All right, now we got a 1 out of 10. How did this movie get any decent reviews? If you're an actual true fan of the book and you watch this movie, you want to explode. I had the book next to me while I'm watching the movie, and there was maybe 3 stories the whole entire book, and the thrown in fillers that he made was literally the whole entire movie of lame as teeny bopper BS that makes me want to cry, because there's so many stories they could have just like made an actual storybook movie. Instead, they made a disgrace of it. This guy stopped reading after this book. I mean, I get his frustration, but like, bro, throw in a period somewhere, like a comma.
It is pretty punctuation free.
Yeah, dude. He just wrote it like how he talks. Yeah. So, okay, so before I go into mine, because I am a fan of this, I wanted to get this from the perspective of somebody who didn't grow up with the books.
Yeah, so not growing up with the books, I didn't realize that this was... I knew it was like an anthology kind of story just because of the little blurb I read when I was looking for Halloween movies. I was like, gotta make sure this has got Halloween in it. Oh, this one does. That looks good. Let's watch that. I really enjoyed it. I thought the stories were all spooky and fun, and I thought the filler did well to
Make it
cohesive.
Story.
Yeah, and I mean, even once I knew it was a book of short stories, I didn't know if there was any kind of tie between any of the stories, never of reading the book. So, like, it could have just been... could have been exactly how the book was written. Was like,
yeah,
you know, kids telling these stories and chasing after the book, and yeah, I didn't have any problem. I thought the kids did for young actors and actresses. I thought they did a fantastic job. I mean, like, I didn't. Sometimes,
hate anybody.
Yeah, sometimes you get kids and you're just like, oh, this kid's a crappy actor.
Yeah. It's hard, you know. Kids have been sort of raising the bar, you know.
Right? Yeah, like it felt like because you got like watching like the first episode of like Stranger Things. You already start to get an attachment to those kids. I kind of felt that in this movie. It was like I liked them all. I was scared. I was sad that Augie disappeared.
Yeah.
You know, and that
because I think everyone knew an Augie. Everyone had an Augie growing up.
Right? Yeah. No. Exactly.
I think my best friend was the Augie of the.
You got Charlie, and he's making the jokes. He's like, "Oh, Mom, I wanted to be Spider-Man, and you made me a costume that looks like a man spider, not a Spider-Man."
He didn't know that he was ahead of the time.
Right? Right?
Oh man, yeah. So yeah, you enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Same for so like I looked at this movie from like two different perspectives. For me, loving the books and all that stuff, it was kind of a disappointment. But as just a movie on its own, it's cohesive enough. It brings it all in together. It brings in a good amount of references from the actual book. So I wasn't too like upset with it. Obviously, for me, I was like I wanted a rated R scary stories to tell in the dark. But like I have to understand. Like I understand that it's a children's book,
Right.
which is a shame. Because like I grew up in the '90s. Like the internet wasn't still, a big thing. Like urban legends were still big. Now I think now that we're like in this age of the internet, it's like creepypastas and stuff like that, and no sleep stories.
Right. Yep.
That have kind of taken over that role of like having these type of like anthology movies. Obviously for me, I think I much would have rather had liked it to have been structured differently instead of maybe like these stories where like when maybe the story that we got. I think it would have been really cool if they had like all these kids started getting killed off by like they like explain the stories, and then like it just starts happening throughout the movie.
Okay.
I think I would have liked that more, just because I think it would have been able, you picked like the five best like stories from the book, and then you apply it in here. Like Tommy getting killed, I was like I didn't really care about that. And like or maybe I think I would have liked this much rather as a show.
Okay. Yes.
Because then you could have really taken the time with each story, and then had like spaced it out per episode.
Right. This would be more like a Black Mirror or something like that.
Yeah, or like if they still wanted to do like a very cohesive storyline, like all the scary stories could have just been like little episodes of like the kids being killed. That sounds like terrible. It's like a terrible sentence. Like I want to see kids getting killed in episodic story fashion.
But on that, when they were making this, what kind of audience do you think they were making it for? Do you think they were making it for the teen next generation?
Yeah.
Of people to pick up this book afterwards? Or were they making it for, now the 20, 30 somethings that read these when they were kids?
Yeah, I think it's because it's so late, right? Like for them to come out with this movie, it's so late for the audience that had actually enjoyed this books prior. Because like I haven't even thought about scary stories to tell in the dark since middle school. Because then they came out with, I believe, 3 books, and I had all 3. But they didn't come out with any more stories after that.
Okay.
So like between 2001 till 2019, that's a whole adult.
Right.
And so I get what you're saying. It's based on a kid's book, but I think I would have looked at it from the point of view of like, well, the kids who read this are now 25 and up.
So would have probably done better as a rated R, targeting that audience.
Yeah, or not even. It doesn't have to be rated R. Like PG-13.
Because this was PG-13, I think.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess. Oh, well, yeah, he does say some racist stuff in here. Can't exactly have that in a PG movie now. Yeah, no, yeah. Then I think I would have liked it in the PG-13 or the rated R. It doesn't have to be like gory, but like the deaths could have been like way cooler. But like then again too, like in the books they had stories. Like one of my favorite stories was The Bride, and that one tells a story about like this couple that just got married, and then they wanted to play a game during their wedding, so she hid in a chest, but no one ever found her.
Okay.
And so like the point of view that was like she was stuck in this chest, and it was like it was like this story that felt very claustrophobic, because she started at middle way through it, she started to realize like no one's gonna find me. and she ends up just dying in the chest.
Okay.
So like I understand like it's kind of like, but then see like then you could have put like a kid. Oh, again, it sounds terrible. You could have put one of the characters in that same situation, and then really had that whole episode be like the movie Buried with Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
And that would have been terrifying, but you know, maybe the budget was low. The people that wanted this movie was kind of low. Guillermo del Toro he's like a goth, you know, he likes like gothic horror stuff.
Right. Yep.
And I'm pretty sure he loved these books because they came out in 1981. He was probably a teenager when they came out, and he's like, one day I will make this into a movie. I only say it like that because I think he's Spanish, right?
Yeah.
I think he's from Spain.
Yep. He's got an accent. I met him at a Comic-Con.
Oh, did you?
Saw like I sat at a panel.
Oh, I thought you like met him. Like,
no, dude.
Hey, Guillermo, when's Dark Justice League coming out, bud? See, I would love that though. Like, wouldn't you love?
Oh, Pacific Rim. He was.
Yeah.
That's the panel. So yes.
Oh, Pacific Rim 1. Though. I don't think he did 2.
Right.
2 is such a.
And it was
letdown.
like 2 years before it came out, and it was like they were like, we've got 7 seconds of this movie that's finished, and they showed it, and like,
did you lose your mind?
I did. I was like, this is like Godzilla versus Gundam. This is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, but Colby was like the only one in that whole audience. Like, I hope the monster wins. No one can beat Gojira.
It's true. It's true.
Oh man, yeah. And so, you know, I think because of a lot of these factors, just like the timing was like already off. I think for fans of the book, I don't think they're gonna like this as much because it's always pretty hard to please people from a different media format, right?
But I feel like it's actionable. It is. There's enough action. There's enough horror that there's no boring parts.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you had a 12, 13-year-old and they're like, I want to see a horror movie, and you're not like, let's jump in with The Thing, you know, or something. You know, you're like, we'll get some starter horror movies. We'll bring in like Gremlins, and we'll bring in, you know, that kind of. I think this would be a good Halloween movie for them, if you know.
Yeah, it's so weird too because like now that
you wait another year before you next Halloween we watch Halloween.
Why are we watching this grandpa movie?
Yeah, right.
What? No, yeah, no, this is like, it's so weird now that I think about it. It's like, I think even like 11, 12, for some reason, I'm like, those kids have already seen more horrific things in this movie.
That's true. Yeah. Like, I had a comic store, and how many like 8-year-olds came in and they were talking about watching Walking Dead. And I'm like, oh, I'm from a different generation, because all I can think is you've got terrible parents.
Because, well, I think you're thinking about it from like when you were a kid, like, oh man, if I watched that when I was a kid, I wouldn't have slept.
Right. And I remember going and seeing like Nightmare on Elm Street at like 13, because the movie theater was just like, hey, you know, it's rated R. And I'm like, yeah, I'm 13. And they're like, go ahead, enjoy. You know, they didn't care. But like, I didn't like, you didn't think about going to horror movies like earlier than that. And
really?
And
man, I don't know. I think for me, I was just like,
I guess before 13, I didn't walk to the movie theater on my own with my other 13-year-old friends.
Yeah, no. I think for some reason, I think just a lot of people are different. Like for me, I remember loving horror even as like super young. Like I think I've read the first book of this when I was like 8, and I was like, oh, that's so scary. And like, you know, let you guys know, during the 90s, you know, you didn't have too much of a strong internet connection, so your imagination really went wild at the middle of the night. You know?
That's true. And in like, really, I'm like, there was like Blockbusters and mom and pop VHS rental places, but my parents were don't watch a lot of TV, you know, and so it was like Sunday night family movie. We get a movie. It was the one night of the week we were allowed to have the TV on while we ate dinner, and we'd watch a movie. And and it was always like, if I got to pick it out, I still picked it out with like my parents, like they're
permission.
renting it, so it was like Faces of Death, and they were like, no, we're not doing that.
Faces of Death was like the VHS series before that.
Yes. Yeah, and then it was like, as I said, once I became like about 13, then I could walk. There was a movie theaters close enough to walk. There was a video place that was close enough to walk. I remember it didn't matter like the rating. I had already rented Faces of Death at like 13 and watched it, and then like at like 14 I went to go rent it again because somebody hadn't seen it, and there was like a sticker on it that said 18 and over.
Oh no.
And I was like, no. It was like, but that's like the only movie in the entire place that was, tagged actually 18 and over.
Parents had enough last year.
Right, yeah.
They're like, why did you let my children rent this? They put a baby in the microwave.
Right, yep.
I kind of want to see that again just to see how bad everything looks now.
I'm like, sure, it's probably all stuff that like you could is just running rampant on the internet, and it wouldn't even affect a kid anymore.
Right. Oh yeah, no. So yeah, like but yeah, just to get back to it, I think if you're not a fan of the book, I think you'll find this fine to show even kids. It's not overly gory. It's scary, but not too scary. I mean, obviously, getting snatched up underneath the bed is going to be terrifying for a kid. Either
right.
But as far as like horror films go nowadays, it's pretty tame. It's almost like a made-for-TV type of movie.
Yeah.
You know, I was surprised. One of the other ones that kind of came out, like, I guess during almost maybe like a year later, it was like the Fear Street series. When I knew that was R.L. Stine, I was like, oh, it's just going to be campy. I was like, no, that movie's chopping people up. I was like, dope.
Yep.
And this could have been that. All right, guys. Well, we're coming up to our hour. Thank you guys for joining us. If you're new, we do our reviews in 4 sections. We have Stream It, DVD It, Blu-ray It, and Ultimate Box Collection. Colby, where are you at?
I probably if we have the Guillermo del Toro box set, I love all of his stuff. So yeah.
Oh yeah, because you're adding like Pan's Labyrinth and stuff like that.
Right. I don't know. Maybe I do Blu-ray just so I could, because there's got to be some more stuff on the book. Yeah. There's got to be some more talk about some other stories. It'd be interesting to get some background.
Yeah. As much as I would love to just do this DVD as a fan of the book, I probably still go Blu-ray just because, like Kobe said, there has to be a ton of extras. I would like to see like the concept storyboards for like the ones that didn't make the cut, but like maybe they have like a storyboard on it, or like they had made the suits for the monsters.
But yeah, whatever. Like they showing a little bit of the actual story art in the books versus what they came up with the movie, because they kept showing like online. They kept showing the Harold the Scarecrow. Yeah. It really looked pretty similar.
Oh yeah, that was dead on. That was spot on. Yeah, that would be cool. Or even if like maybe they have someone reading like a little, like reading the book with like the concept art on it. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, like Morgan Freeman or something, or Michael Caine, one of those old bastards. I'm gonna be super sad when one of them dies one of these days. But yeah, like, you know, as much as like I was kind of disappointed at it, I also still like recognize the merit of it, because, you know, it's still cool to see like these things come to life on live action, and the prosthetics that they had used, the practical effects that they had used. It's cool. Like, even if you're a fan of the book and you're disappointed by how they did the movie, you can't hate how they executed the stories on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
oh, and I did see like that they did have an actor who was a contortionist. Ooh. So some of the parts of the TIE fighter, is it TIE Walker?
Yeah.
Is an actual contortionist guy in that makeup.
That's so creepy, dude. You think that guy like freaks out his girlfriend once in a while, just like does that contortionist shit in the night?
But when you look and you're like, oh, he's an actor? What else has he done? Oh, everything he's done is like something creepy in a horror movie. Like you won't recognize his face because it's always got makeup on.
Yeah.
He's always like, cool. I can bend my arm funny, so like I'm gonna be the guy who's getting twisted by a ghost or whatever.
I'm the one who got twisted by Vecna.
Right, exactly.
Oh, man. But yeah, I hope you guys check this out. If you're a huge fan of it, just set your expectations a little bit lower and you'll enjoy the movie for what it is.
I mean, it's a good starter Halloween movie. Like I said, for, kids, I think probably be a good starter Halloween movie. If you're like starting the Halloween season a little slow, you just want something a little spooky. This is good before you get to like the week of Halloween where everything's slasher movies.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a nice little starter movie. All right, guys, make sure you guys check down below. We have our link for our YouTube channel where we talk about shows and movies. We just do commentary over it like MSTK.
Right.
But
we're 8-bit, so we're better. We're not just a shadow.
I can't say that. That fan base is so huge.
It's true. We're not better yet.
We also have our Amazon affiliate links where we're trying to go to Texas Roadhouse. We've been thinking way too small lately. We got to go to Texas Roadhouse.
Yes.
Roadhouse.
Right. So that's our 2-year anniversary. We're like
Swayze.
Get us an actual meal.
No, for our 2-year anniversary, we should just go to Texas Roadhouse, but we're both dressed up as Patrick Swayze.
Yes.
I would be so sad if like no one like gets it.
Yeah, because we're both built just like Patrick Swayze.
I'm trying to get there.
I mean, I could be like the chubby guy who owns the bar that hired Dalton.
You know what? We should go. We should like, but as we order, after we order our meals, we'd be like, yeah, let me get this, Roadhouse. The waitress is like, excuse me? Yeah, Roadhouse.
And then of course, don't forget to follow us on social media. We got our Facebook and our Twitter and stuff down below, and that's the easiest way to get a hold of us, to give us some suggestions, to show us how much you love us, tell us how we've changed your life for the positive. But yeah, no, I mean, just a like and a share is always appreciated.
Goes a long way. All right, guys, thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out who does the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album, Music for Podcast 3, and our Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.